So this is a special place that you all know that I've been. I keep saying I'm coming back again to speak to the owner, Mr. Glendon Neal.
That's correct.
So thank you for having me again.
You're
And
most welcome.
I'm sorry I'm going to be like a wasp. I will always keep coming.
Well, it's natural, it's a natural nature, and you can always, you're invited to come by. So
Oh,
it's
thank
nothing
you.
being like a wasp or a bee or whatever. It's fine. It's a part of nature.
Isn't it? So,
Yes.
everybody, this is, I'm going to let Mr. Glendon Neal explain what this is, but I'm going to just show you all behind us a moment. Look at this long, beautiful path which leads down to what I keep calling Eden. So, even though you've been here, when you pull up and you get to here, do you still have a true sense of what it is to be here? Or are you kind of just in the mindset of what you've got to do for the day? Not to say it's wrong if you don't, but do you still see the magic as you just hit this corner?
Well, you see, to really put it at what it is now, I have to have a projection. Know where I'm
Yes.
coming from and what I want it to be. Those are the two driving force, both from behind and before, to pull me along, so that I
Yes.
can, realize my goals, my objective, and to make it a success. To me, it's a nursery with a difference, but to people it's a beautiful garden. But that's okay.
Correct.
That's okay. It's
Yes.
the business aspect of it I'm highlighting. But for the general
Yes.
public, it's the beauty, sheer beauty, and that laid backness, that naturalness, you want to put it,
Yeah.
and if they're happy, I'm happy too.
Well, tell me more as we walk this way. So,
Okay.
you touched on something very important. It's about, what you saw in the vision you had in the past. So what was the vision? What actually brought you to this point?
Well, I was operating at a different location, and it was
Okay.
so small. The water source was non-existent, so to speak. You have to
Right.
depend on the national water supply, which is limited and it's chlorinated.
Ooh.
Now that's a no-no for plants.
Yes.
Now, after all these years, I scouted around and I found this lovely location,
Yes.
right? And I was blessed because there was no one after it. And why? Because it was all a jungle. It was in ruin.
Yes.
And because I'm not deterred by hard work, I decided to take up the challenge. When I
Yes.
came here, my wife and myself, any point we went, even if we are just a stone throw away, we couldn't see each other. We have to use a pole to push up like this to indicate, yes, I'm on this location or that location.
Goodness. And
You
in
see?
fact, as you say that, I'm going to give you all a 360 at this point, and continually I'll keep doing 360s. And how many acres is this? Just so that they can
Well,
put
this
it in
segment
perspective.
you're on is 5 acres.
Wow.
It's
Yes.
5 acres. So an acre is a 5 acre is something. Just picture a 5 football pitch. You see, this is the segment. The
Yes.
total land space is 10 acres, but this is what we're operating, and you can classify it as a nursery or a garden. Is 5 acres.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and how big was the one before this one?
Oh, the one before was something like a tenth of an acre, which is a square.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So
That
you
tiny.
took you literally did a quantum leap from a tenth of
Exactly.
a square
That's the key
to
word.
10 acres. And so then, yes, so tell us more, as you were saying, about the overall vision that caused that shift, because that's major.
All right.
That's not even a half step.
So I started out on that little parcel of land,
Yeah.
which was quite limited. But I show appreciation for little morsels. Okay, so
That's important. Yeah, I
right, I
love that.
perfected my little art there.
Yeah.
Trial and error, you see, and then I say, well, okay, my trials, if I'm going to get a bigger location, I don't want my errors to be multiplied.
Of course.
So now I
yes.
get this space, I have to treat it from a business point of view.
Yes.
So I start out on a footing to multiply the success that I gained from that spot, which is the trial and error. You see, and somehow perfected it. Not quite in the true sense,
Yeah.
but where I'm at now, I can say, yes, I'm well on the way.
Yeah.
You see, and I wouldn't let up until it reached that height.
Imagine. So, let's go back even more. So before that tenth of an acre, what even brought you to that point? Where did this seed get planted in you
Glad you
as a
mentioned.
man, as even a young man possibly. Where was this seed germinated?
Right. Okay, so I'm from a community, and even before the community, my father
Yes.
is one of those old traditional farmers.
Right.
You know, so I was born in it, so to speak, and with all
Okay.
honesty.
And can you expand on old traditional farmers? Because I get you, because I'm here in Jamaica with you, but to
Okay.
someone watching anywhere in the world, what does
Right.
that really mean to someone who's not in Jamaica as a traditional Jamaican farmer?
The traditional farmer, he plants anything that grows, and especially if it's food.
Right.
Right? So
Yes.
it doesn't have to be utilized in the space appropriately. Doesn't have to be successful of it.
Okay.
Once there's a night dinner from it, he's contented. The family
Yes.
eats and their belly is full and they rejoice.
So they're
You
farming
see?
for substance, not
Yes,
so much for commercial
sheer
enterprise.
substance.
Right.
Because if it's frayed, so what? I'm planted next week again, or following week, or following month.
Yes,
You see, so
yes.
no big deal. It's a part of the territory because what? The expense for growing family then was very small.
Yes.
Once we can produce the food, you're classified as a head of a family or provider, I should say.
Yes.
And that's good, right? Then.
Sorry to put in, but you just gave me an epiphany. Like, I really now get that whole concept of being a provider. In the West, a provider is monetary.
Right.
But really, when you bring it back to the root of what it is, a provider is when you're providing from the land for
Right.
your family and
Yes.
shelter and warmth, substance, food. It's not the monetary aspect.
Food for the stomach.
Yes. So you were exposed to this
Right.
as a child, but did you even know as a child that when you became a man, this is what you would do?
No, I didn't know then. Because I know it was hard work.
Yes.
There's no question about it. And I didn't want the hard part of it. So I wasn't cut out to really say, well, I want to be a farmer per se. But growing up now and, knowledge increases and
Yes.
it began to take on departments, so to speak, in agriculture.
Yes.
And then I said, okay, because it embraces biology, chemistry, and all those things. And growing up in school now, and I was educated along that line, then I said, okay, so I can carve a part of that of agriculture to suit
Yes.
what I like in school, which is like biology, that is
Yes.
botany and so forth, and chemistry, and even mathematics. So I love it.
Yes,
So
and that's true.
having that, then I said, okay, I could go for it. So when I was in the near final year of school, then because of that agriculture background, my principal, which is now Mr. Patrick Allen, which is the Governor General, he is the one who finally tutored us and instructed us, knowing that we are from that community and showed that
Yes.
our inclination to do well in farming. That he institute that we went to, that when I say we, I'm a part of a twin actually.
Right.
Right, and
Yes.
he sent us to a reputable agriculture school, and that is where it took off,
Amazing.
And then we started to add all those other parts of agriculture, which I said, botany, biology, chemistry, physics, and all those things.
Yes.
And that now gave me the drive to start that little project that I started in Robbins Bay, what is just a tenth of an acre.
Ooh,
Yes.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old was you when you started that?
It was 19 years of age. Yes, 19.
Oh my
and I tell you
goodness,
something, even
that's
before
amazing.
I touched the plant aspect of it,
Yes.
me and my brother, that's my twin,
Yes.
we because of our agricultural knowledge now from the agricultural institution, then we started to do some poultry rearing.
Right. Yes.
You see, and then from
Chickens
that to
and
pigs,
turkey.
yes, and that
Yes.
for the pigs and so forth. And then we use the byproduct now to enhance all little vegetable plants.
Yes, because it's the nitrates, isn't
Exactly.
it? In the,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
and
waste.
and when we go out, for example, when we left school, we were out there looking for a job. But in the meantime, we weren't really sitting at home twiddling our thumbs. We were just, doing something. So if our parents had given us money to travel and so forth, or even to buy lunch, we save like a Scrooge, right? And we would just come back with that money as most as possible.
Yeah.
And we'd buy little seeds, little cucumbers, little tomatoes, and sow it.
Oh my
We want to
goodness.
multiply it, And they were impressed with it. So
They must have. You must have just read my mind because I was just stood thinking, This is 19, my son is
Right.
18. If my son was doing this, not to say I'm not impressed with him, but
Right.
I'd be super impressed
Right.
if I'm giving him money for lunch and he's buying seeds to
Right.
grow things. My heart would just be abounding.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is why our parents now, what we say to them and talk with them, you know, they wouldn't shoot down our ideas. They would say, okay, all right, go ahead.
Yes.
You know, that deep
yes.
breath, you know, and say, okay, I trust you guys, never in doubt, because they see our transparency. They know that we're not going to say we save our money and then go and buy something that isn't good. We're going to, like I said, demonstrate by taking cucumbers, seed and tomatoes, and we sow it, and they see the multiplying effect.
Yes.
So because of that principle that it instilled in me and my brothers and other siblings as well, then it built up a trust with our parents.
Yes.
And thus, you know, it
Wonderful.
gives me the drive now to say, okay, since I'm good at plant production.
Right. So that involves, I guess, germinating, grafting, harvesting, because you bring in the biology element
Because
now.
if you just come across here and look,
Yeah, that's the...
I could look at this plant. Look how many stems are on it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so people pass this, go in and come in, and I could just quickly, you know, demonstrate
Yes, please.
how, well, I don't have the appropriate knife, but nevertheless,
In fact, let me come
Yes.
to this side of you so I can catch this. And then I just put this under your arm a moment.
right.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so we're going to
Okay,
catch this.
so look at this plant. It looks so innocent, right?
Yeah.
And unassuming. So if I'm going to multiply it now, right? I
Yes.
know the cost for each one of these. So what I do in preparation, I do this. This is what you call air layering or circumposing.
Circumposing, right.
Right.
Yes.
And forgive me, this is not the appropriate tool, but I was
And
caught
in
off
fact,
guard.
Let's take a pause, and I'm going to spin my camera the other way, so I've got full control. So don't do anything else,
All right.
and then I'll stick the film back together. So now I will.